And welcome back, everybody. Thanks for sticking with us. Anthony Picente Jr. is our guest, county executive, and we're talking about Oneida County. Sports betting. When you were talking about your vision of that area of downtown, casino gambling was part of that vision. But what about sports betting? Are we going to see sports betting?
I think you will. I think it clearly, especially the fact that the Supreme Court had ruled that it could be done across the country, and seeing that states surrounding us again have done that with their casinos and what they've been doing, as well as we have made casinos a part of the economic engine of various counties and various regions in New York State. So for them to remain competitive and for people to continue to go there, I really believe you'll see it. And all they need to do is put the regulations. It's always been established as a part of what could be done.
So you're talking about at Turning Stone?
Oh, I'm talking Turning Stone, but I'm talking throughout. I mean, I think the other casinos as well, the other regions of the state that have them, may need that for them to continue and to sustain themselves. But clearly, I think when we look at Turning Stone, and I know they announced, I think about 2 weeks ago, that they had entered into a partnership with Caesars, which is huge in terms of when you talk about what sport bets have been in Las Vegas, and what happens in terms of them, and then it becomes a whole different landscape.
Is it possible that we could see sports betting as part of that whole downtown concept that you envision?
It would only make sense, especially being in that kind of district, that there would be a piece of it there. I can't speak for the Oneidas if that was their intention, but I believe that wherever they would have a presence, and then they have not just in Verona now, between Chittenango and in Bridgeport, I can't not envision them having some type of sports betting in those regards.
And what would it do for the finances for Oneida County? Anything?
Well, I think what it does is the same thing Nexus does, and the same thing other things does. It's about capacity. It's about people. It's about attraction. It's about more visitors and what can be done. That's why Nexus is so important to us, because it's really about bringing more people into our area, more people to see it, more people to visit it. I mean, so revenues go up in terms of sales tax, in terms of occupancy tax, in terms of restaurants and all the like. And I think if you add that on the casino side of things for sports betting, then you get more people in there and more revenue comes in, and that's more for us to invest in this community. So I think those are the positives that we deal with.
The governor was, speaking of the governor, he was in town for the ahead of the storm. Storm didn't really get as bad as it might have been, but he was here up in, what was he up, DOT?
DOT on Shenango Road.
Shenango Road, yeah.
He was, and I thank him for that. I know the governor has been, when we've had various weather situations, the governor has been front and center and deployed resources for us to combat them. I think Saturday was looking at what could have been a lot worse, and we went. And I think for those of us in public service, whether it's the governor or myself or mayors, we want to make sure people are safe. And sometimes people say we're being too precautious and too serious about something that may not happen, but at the end of the day, you want to be safe. We've seen in different instances, whether it be flooding or whether it be a snowstorm from a year ago, that we didn't know what was going to happen, or 2 years ago that dumped 2 feet of snow in less than 6 hours, and we were crippled for a while.
Speaking of flooding, the Oneida County office building was impacted by that water main break, yes?
The water main break is going to impact some other businesses downtown, I'm afraid, too, and some other structures. The county building had to be shut early, and hopefully that gets resolved. That's another concern in these weather conditions, because while you worry about the snow and how much is going to pile up, and we have to deal with plowing and clearing the roads and all that, when the temperatures drop below zero to the extent that they do, and wind chill and all that multiplies, older infrastructure is going to crack, and we saw that with the water main break.
Speaking of plowing, how many miles of roads is Oneida County responsible for plowing in Oneida County?
Well, you have to remember there's over 600 miles of county road, which primarily is plowed by the towns. We work in agreement where the towns plow the county roads, and so they do the majority of that with a little few exceptions that we do on our own. So nearly 600, and then we do another 350 or 380 miles of state roads, of state routes that we have an agreement with New York State that we plow some of those roads and salt and sand them depending on where in the case may be. So we have a big responsibility at that time.
We've got less than a minute left, and a lot of questions I wanted to ask you, so maybe you'd be kind enough to come back sooner rather than later.
Sure.
The colored lights on the roof of the Oneida County office building, that's something new.
That's something we started, I think we're on our second year, getting through our second year, and a great idea that we wanted to brighten up the downtown skylight a little bit with all that's been happening, but also have a purpose. And we've used it for different purposes, for breast cancer awareness in October, for men's health in November, and this month I think we're doing, I think it's another colorectal cancer.
It does brighten up things a little bit.
It does, and
come back and see us soon, would you please?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's it for us this week. We'll be back next week. Don't forget cnyhomepage.com. Lots of good stuff there. Until next time, take care of yourself, everybody.